Hi, this is Carl with another super success video from Managed Service Providers. Today I want to talk about employee evaluations and how annual employee evaluations are approximately useless and probably harmful to your company. Many of us come from bigger business environments where there were annual reviews. And annual reviews can serve a purpose, but that's not normally how they're used. And so many people in small business adopt the practice of having annual reviews, but they don't actually achieve anything, and they're probably harmful. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a border collie who's very smart and very muscular, agile, and able to learn quickly. And so you think, I'm going to put this dog into agility training. There's a local course, and we'll go down there and I'll train him. Okay, so here's what you do. You grab a Frisbee, you take your dog down to the agility course, and you walk around. You walk them around and you show them, okay, you're going to leap through this and you're going to go through that tunnel and you're going to catch this, right? You explain the entire thing to him. And then you throw the Frisbee. Now, either he catches it or he doesn't. If he catches it, you say, hey, good job. If he doesn't, you say, oh, no, you're supposed to catch it. And you explain it to him. And you spend maybe half an hour walking him through the course again and explaining the whole thing. And then you go home. And 365 days later, you take the Frisbee, you take the dog, you go out to the agility course, and you throw the Frisbee. Either he catches it or he doesn't. If he catches it, with luck, you're improving. That's great. Maybe you threw it a little higher. Maybe he's jumping a little higher. That's awesome. And then you spend about half an hour walking him through the course, making sure he understands everything. Then you go home. And a year later, you do it again. Now, at this rate, will you ever achieve your goal? Will you ever improve the performance of the dog or even the dog's actual understanding of the course? The course takes a lot of different skills. It takes some education. It takes training. It takes practice. It takes a lot of feedback for every piece of the course. Your employee's job is basically the same thing. In my community, I've got an entire roadmap on employee onboarding, and we have a lengthy process where we talk about how when you create a job, you start with a job description. These are the things you need to do. These are the skills you need to have. Here's where we can train you. Here's what we expect you to have on day one. Here's what you can get to eventually if you do a good job, right? So it's kind of this description of the job as well as some information about the path forward and the future of this position if all goes well. Then you use that job description to create a job ad where you don't focus on crap that doesn't matter. The job ad should lay out, these are the requirements, these are the optional things that would be nice to have. This is what you would expect the job to be like. This is what you would expect the pay to be like, da-da-da-da-da. And then you get people to apply for the job. You screen through the resumes by looking at those very specific criteria. We said you have to have these skills. We'd like you to have those other skills. Who's got it, who doesn't? If everybody's got the top level skills, well, then you use the next level skills to kind of weed out a little bit. And then you decide who you're going to interview. You should design the interview questions based on the job description. Okay, so tell me about a time when you had difficulty with this and how did you handle it? Write a paragraph so I know that you actually know how to put a sentence together. You know, whatever it might be. You have questions that help you figure out which of the candidates is going to be the best fit for this job. Finally, after you've selected somebody, you make an offer. First day on the job, okay, here's what you need to do. No surprises. It was all in the job description. It was in the ad. It was in the interview questions, right? And here are your goals for the quarter, goals for the year. Now, if you only then talk to them 365 days later, there's no reason for them to be successful. There's no reason that they would have met the goals that you've set out, because day 2, they're on tickets. They're closing tickets, they're talking to clients, they're learning the system, they're doing all kinds of things which may or may not be related to the goals that you've set out. If you want people to be successful, they need to have very clear, written, measurable, time-bound goals, and you need to constantly give them feedback about their progress. Keep reminding them, we want to make sure that you are responding to tickets in a reasonable fashion, or whatever it might be. Whatever it is that they need to work on, it needs to be something that you talk to them all the time. The beautiful thing is that if you talk to them enough, it's not nagging, it is simply having a conversation. Like your daily chatter needs to be, oh, make sure you put your time into the system. Is your time card up to date? Did you put the notes in? Did you remember that we put software only in that one directory? Da 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 da. Whatever it might be, there's this ongoing discussion, because this is not a pop quiz. This is not like those horrible teachers who had pop quizzes. Pop quizzes are the worst way that you could ever teach anybody anything. I taught college for 10 years, and I literally gave people the information on day 1 that they needed to pass the final. I gave them open book exams, and guess what? I had the same normal distribution as every other teacher. Even though I had no surprises, I told them exactly, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to cover, this is what I expect out of you, this is how you get an A. And then some people would get A's and some people would get B's, because people are normally distributed in terms of their motivation and willingness to do the job. If you have good employees, well-trained, well-motivated, and you have taught them what they need to do to be successful, they will be successful. This is not a fight between you and your employees. This isn't like you lose if they win. No. If you both face in the same direction and you have the same goals, you both win when you both win. And there shouldn't be any mystery in what's expected in an annual evaluation or how well they're doing. No one should sit down at a quarterly evaluation and say, wow, I totally didn't know that you wanted me to show up on time. I didn't have any idea that I was pissing off all the clients at this one office. I didn't know that this had to happen or that had to happen or I needed to change something. That should never happen, because you're not going to wait till the end of the quarter or the end of the year, for goodness sake, to give them feedback. Feedback needs to be an ongoing, never-ending, positive experience focused on the long-term vision and goals for the company. Where does this employee fit in the big system, and how can they help you to be successful? How can they have success by giving you success? You know, it's interesting that we have this issue in managed services. In break fix, you only make money when your clients' systems are down and they're in pain and they hate you and they begrudgingly pay you to make their stuff work. In managed services, the client gives you money on the first day of the week, first day of the month, and then your profit consists of being able to keep their systems up so you don't have to spend extra money to fix it, which means you make more money when their computers are working, they make more money when your computers are working. Everybody's happy because you're facing in the same direction, you have the same goals, and you're successful when they're successful. Does that sound familiar? It should. Your employees need to be the same way. This is not a fight between you and them. You shouldn't begrudge paying them their salary, and they shouldn't begrudge that fact that they got to work 8 hours a day, right? You should work together. You should agree on where you're going and how to get there. Obviously, it needs to be reasonable. The reason that they're engaged with you and not somebody else is that they are going to help you meet the goals of your company. And that can't be a mystery. You get nothing out of waiting till the end of the year. What happens with annual reviews is nobody wants to do them. They don't want to do them. You don't want to do them. You go through, you check down a list, you meet for a few minutes. It's kind of all over in the first 3 minutes, but you feel like you're obligated to sit there for 15 or 20 minutes and you sort of talk about the goals and whatever. Nobody's interested. Nobody's motivated. Everybody wants to just get this over with so they can get on to the next thing and do something that matters for the company. That should absolutely not be what your annual reviews look like. That sort of thing is sort of irritating for employees, frustrating for managers, and not productive for your company. So design your reviews. I love quarterly reviews. A quarterly review is long enough so that they can actually make some changes that matter. And they're going to get weekly and daily and maybe even hourly feedback on how they're doing and how everything's going. And it's also short enough that it's easy to point to a piece of paper and say, remember we were going to do this? Remember we were going to do that? Okay, how are you doing on that? How's that coming? How, you said that you were going to get some training. You said that you were going to finish that certification. How you doing? Did you take the class? Did you sit through this? Right? Whatever it is. How can we help you to be more successful at reaching your goals, knowing that your goals are the goals of the entire organization? So quarterly reviews are my preference. An annual review, you might as well just be throwing a frisbee for a dog, because it'll do just as much good for your company and for the morale of your employees. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Polishuk, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do.